Blink Publishing presents In the Zone. How Champions Think and Win Big. Written by Clyde Brolin and read by Tim Dickinson. Prologue. What was he thinking? It's the Indianapolis 500, the biggest spectator event in world sport, the very last corner of the final lap. For 799 corners out of 800, J.R. Hildebrand looks anything but an Indy rookie, in the lead and easing towards headlines as the first American driver for 84 years to win on their debut. The neural pathways honed over J.R.'s years of throwing fast cars around do their job immaculately. Then, with home glory beckoning at the historic race, something in the mechanism freezes. With the checkered flag in sight after this 500-mile epic, J.R. has to make one last choice: go high up the oval racetrack's banking to lap Charlie Kimball's slower car, or back off and hope the loss of pace doesn't allow any of his challengers through. He chooses option 1, having earlier nailed a similar move at the same corner. But this time, as he leaves the comfort of the racing line, his worn tires are less forgiving, as is the concrete, as he veers wide and hits the wall. The mass gasp of over 300,000 fans packing the track's miles of grandstands easily drowns out the crunch of the carnage and the screaming engines. Yet, J.R. may get away with it even now. The momentum from his crash keeps him scraping along the wall towards the yard of bricks marking the Indy finish line. He slams his foot to the floor in a desperate attempt to keep his remaining 2 wheels moving for the last few hundred yards. In the end, he crosses the line well clear of his rivals, all bar one. Picking his way past the wreckage comes Britain's Dan Wheldon for the most dramatic victory in Indy history, on its 2011 centenary to boot. At the line, Dan is just 2.1 seconds ahead. Talk about luck. Or is it? It turns out he was close enough to profit from JR's late mishap only because of a finely tuned piece of machinery that has been firing on all cylinders. His brain. Those last 20 laps were incredibly quick, Dan told me. People were on different strategies, and in my case, it was about making sure every lap was the best it could possibly be. I had to drive flat out. But when you're in the zone, especially in a confident time of your career, you do things and it's like, really? The team later told me I'd made an adjustment to the weight jacker and anti-roll bars at every single corner for those last 20 laps, and I didn't know it. In fact, I didn't believe them. I thought I'd been adjusting them quite often, but knew it wasn't that many, no way. So they showed me the data. I did it without even knowing. When you get in the zone, you have the ability to do things totally naturally. This natural ability is the holy grail of performance at the highest level. This is the big payback, where all the years of graft come flooding back out in a torrent of pure, blissful execution. Hard work may lie behind any outstanding feat, but when the moment actually arrives, it can feel effortless, as if it requires no input at all. Of course, the weight jacker, which switches weight between the front wheels, and anti-roll bar, affecting the suspension, don't sound the most natural element to racing a car. They are hardly as ingrained as using wheel and pedals to control speed and direction, but they are crucial to oval racing, where these monster Indy cars lap at over 200 miles per hour. If you reach this level of competition, it's assumed you're driving a car to its limit. These setup changes push that very limit even further. How hard can it be to go round and round in circles? Ask Emerson Fittipaldi, a Brazilian who won 2 F1 world titles in the 1970s before winning the Indianapolis 500 twice, too. Fittipaldi faced the wrath of die-hard fans for daring to drink orange juice to celebrate instead of the traditional winner's bottle of milk, but by then, he didn't need to be told how even the tiniest change can have a major impact in Indy cars. Oval racing seems easy, but people don't see how technical it is, he says. It may not look like it, but it's more sophisticated to get the maximum out of a car if you keep turning left than turning both ways on a road course. It requires more fine-tuning than Formula One to be on the edge.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?